Fellow MG patients and caregivers. Cap Cowan speaking to you from Toronto. I'm president of the Myasthenia Gravis Society of Canada. How are you today? So we're now about a week and a half into our first national fundraising campaign for myasthenia gravis. And we're making good progress, as we say, one step at a time. As you know, our slogan is 1 billion steps over myasthenia gravis. So where we're at now is as we gradually spread the fever, so to speak, we wanted to give you some idea of some of the tools that we have available to you to help everybody in our MG family. And some of those tools involve, first of all, that you get it yourself pledged up, and that is simply go to mgfit.org, www.mgfit.org, and you can actually get a pledge form online. And as of tomorrow, we'll ask you for your name and your email and phone number. That's all we really need initially. But the reason why we want to do that is we want to make sure that we are making progress on who's out there doing the pledging, and that you get the support you require when you get the pledge. So we have other things that are available. For example, as you can see, these are actual stickers like I'm wearing here. We can get you sheets of those so you can give them to people that maybe would also like to pledge.
Hi, Lucy.
You can get a poster if you like. Both sides are printed, so it's a black and colored poster. You can put it on doors, you can put it where people have maybe sponsored, corporate sponsors and that sort of thing. Your pledge sheet is now amended so that it's actually goes right up to, I think, $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so on the sheet are 10 spots to get pledges. What we're saying is this: look, if you're the person that's doing the pledge sheet, then you want other people to fill in and support you. So they may want to donate $10, $20, $100, $1,000 towards it, and every $1,000 equals 1,000 steps. So like we had a donation last week for $1,000, that's 100,000 steps. To $20 is 2,000 steps.
Lucy says hi.
Hi, Lucy. It's great to hear from you. So in Lucy's case, she's going to have a pledge sheet, and we will help her fulfill the pledge. There's some simple equations. One equation is about 2.65 feet per mile per step, about 1,990 steps per mile. So you can convert that if you like. So that's another thing. So we had some other issue. If somebody wishes to make a direct donation to us, there is a way to do that on MG Fit now. There's a button you can push called Donate, right at the top right hand side. When you push it, it'll give you an opportunity. You can donate. It's a secured line. It'll take Visa, MasterCard, and I think American Express through PayPal. So we get notified, and you do right away. When you make the donation, you get 2 receipts: a registration of the donation and also a thank you letter from us. And then you will also get a tax-free, because we are a registered charity for income tax purposes down the road a bit. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing I think that's important to articulate with you, is how easy it is to help us. And we appreciate your patience as we, if you like, roll out the details of this, because we're volunteers, and we need to be reminded that we're also myasthenia gravis volunteers. So I think, to be honest with you, everything I find I do is a little bit in slow motion. I just don't have the same speed I used to have before I seem to get myasthenia gravis. And I think that's general for all of us. Having said all those things, the other thing I think you want to be able to answer for people is, what are we doing with the fundraising? Well, the fundraising is needed for so many different dimensions, but one of the most basic ones is communications of what is myasthenia gravis. I was on radio last night on a Filipino radio station talking about, the history of myasthenia gravis, the fact that it's a chronic condition, the fact that it's not transmittable, that it's not genetic, but it is not curable either. The fact that we don't have as many people dying from it as we used to with treatment. The fact that maybe there could be as many as 30,000 Canadians with myasthenia gravis, an extraordinary number. We know for sure 15,000.
Rachel says, hi, Cap.
Hi, Rachel. How are you? Good to have you with us, and so forth. So we have a long way to go. I have some tremendous news. So 2 years ago, we had people coming to our support meeting in Toronto because they could not find an MG neurologist in Ottawa And now all of a sudden we have at least two neurologists that are doing MG consulting in Ottawa. That is wonderful news. Congratulations up there in Ottawa. That's new news for us. I'm wondering if some of that evolved from the Congress last summer, where, as you know, we had a booth and we had 30 MG Canada volunteers all 5 days with a campaign slogan, "Could it be MG?" So I mentioned that again on radio last night. What's amazing now is that we do have a blood test that is pretty well 99.9% accurate. It's an anti-colonies detector. It costs extra money though. That's the only part that's a bit unfortunate. But right now it's about $300 in Ontario. I don't know what it is across the country, but let's just say it's similar. And if your doctor asks for it, because he can see the droopy eye, because he can see you slurring, because he can see you struggling with your breathing and swallowing, those are core signs of myasthenia gravis. An anti-colonies blood test would help verify.
I hope Rachel gets the test.
Rachel?
Yeah,
Yes.
because she's
Yes.
having a hard time getting diagnosed in Hamilton.
Are you? Well, Rachel, there are people in Hamilton for sure that can do that. McMaster and St. Joseph's for sure. So
They
if you're not
won't-
sure, if
yeah.
you're not sure, then they can definitely help you that. And if worst case scenario, come to Toronto, we can get you set up here in Toronto. Sunnybrook is now doing it.
Oh,
I've heard,
Sunnybrook?
yeah, Sunnybrook's starting to handle myasthenia gravis now. Dr. Brill, certainly at Toronto General, it's got a wonderful clinic there. Long period of excellent history and a lot of knowledge there and resource, even to share with other neurologists. So, because it was Dr. Brill who actually drove the World Congress on Neuromuscular last summer.
Oh,
Very
she-
busy girl, but you know, she shares.
She said she is doing the LRP4 test. She is seronegative MG.
So that means she doesn't have myasthenia gravis?
Zero negative. She tested zero negative, but she's doing what is the LRP4 test? I'm
I
not
don't know.
familiar with that.
I'm not familiar with the term.
Yeah.
So she may have another condition. But we've been told by Dr. Nicole that it's 99.9% accurate for MG. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean you guarantee it's MG, but it's more likely that you do.
That blood test, right? That you were
That's
saying.
the blood test, yeah. That's the blood test.
Ah,
I mean, we've had other tests before, like the Tensilon, which is a steroid injection, IV.
that's what I had.
Yeah. But that was not as definitively conclusive as the anti-colonies test is.
Anti-colonies test.
Yeah.
Oh, Rachel said it means she doesn't have ACHR or MuSK.
But she still has MG?
That's, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what she needs to determine in order to get the medication, the prescription. Oh, it's the newest zero-negative blood test. That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
Done in Sweden, Oxford, and now in Augusta, Georgia. Sorry, Rachel, I'm reading this for Cap because he has a camera pointed on him, and I'm doing the camera work.
Hopefully we are hearing this conversation. I mean, that's the charm of live, but it's the reality.
Yeah.
Why this is not an edited conversation.
Yes.
However, it is us, and we love you very much out there, and we're just trying to connect with you on, you know, the really need to establish the Myasthenia Gravis Society of Canada as your organization. It's your voice. It's about you. It's for you. There's a lot of love here, but we need to finance to be serious about really making a long-term legacy statement for patients in Canada forever. This just never happened before. We've never had a national society before. We've had some chapters, Vancouver, Winnipeg, Toronto, but we've never had a national society that cares about every corner of the country. And we're serious. We mean it. We want you to help us. We know you will help us. And one of the ways you can help us now is join our team, help us get the pledging going across the country, spread the fever. We'd love you to make a personal donation, but it would be even bigger help if you can also take a pledge form and get friends, neighbors, and other corporations to take on employees and support it. We just had another donation actually from United Appeal. We don't have to give them a receipt, but over the year they've included us in their giving in the GTA area, so that's always nice. So remember, our logo, our campaign slogan is "Billion Step Up for Myasthenia Gravis," and that's what we're trying to do. 1 billion steps for myasthenia gravis would establish a fund, a trust fund, and a backbone for us to really significantly help. Another thing that came up this week, I had a call from just over in Quebec near Ottawa from a partially disabled myasthenia gravis patient. Robert joined Myasthenia Gravis Canada recently in March. His problem is getting to his IVIGs, which are going to be in Ottawa. So I'm just reaching out there. I'm a member of the Lions Club in Stouffville, Ontario, Canada. We are a network of about 35,000 clubs worldwide. And I know from background experience, because I've been with them 35 years, when we have a person inquire about us in our community, we will often set up a driving arrangement to get them where they need to go. So I would suggest that might be a first place to go, is to check with your local Lions Club. If you mind, you can use my name if you like, Cap Cowan from Stouffville Lions. Suggested you contact your local Lions Club and see if they can get a driver to help you. Then,
awesome.
you know, the new networked driving service is much more reasonable than a taxi. There's also down again from Myasthenia Gravis Society of Canada. We were talking about getting rides for disabled myasthenia gravis patients. Obviously, we don't have deep funding yet to help you with that specifically, but we can certainly refer to some suggestions where I was talking about Lions Club, for example, in your community. Might be a source for volunteer drivers to help you. And that's about it right now. I think for purposes of this conversation, we want you to know the pledge is up and will be refined tomorrow. So if you want to wait till tomorrow to do it, if you haven't done it already, we're going to ask you for your name, email, and phone number. That's what we need so we can connect with you. And if you need any of the extra, if you'd like to have, so for example, the badges, stick-ons, you know, with the logo on them, such as the sheets I showed you, like I'm wearing this one here. We have sheets of them, 6 up on a sheet. They're very nice, actually, and you know, they don't last forever, but they do kind of, you know, make somebody feel they're part of the campaign. We have 2-sided window banners that are very good, and those could be converted for you know, putting on T-shirts and that, because you can get a press on you know, for a T-shirt. Just go to a local office supply place and you can get them on clear plastic that will actually iron on. So that could be fun if you want to do something like that. And let us know what you do. If you do something like that, it'll help us to build enthusiasm and connection with you all out there. We also have news release kits. We can even send you an extra copy of for your local papers, your local Facebook groups and communities, such as I do in Stouffville. I haven't sent them yet. Halton Region wants a lot more information on Myasthenia Gravis Society, and they are networked at least in the province, and if not interprovincially now. So this news release is fairly definitive. It kind of talks about who we are, why we're doing this, how you can reach us for further information. That is available actually also, I think it's in our newsletter.
Yes.
And of course, then there's the Myasthenia Gravis quarterly newsletter that's out now for May. You can get it at mgcanada.org, our core website, and just look for the newsletter. You'll see it right on the front page. Click on it, and you can get the. You can go right back to. You can go back a couple of years. We've got the last 2 issues, a really terrific breakout of the slide presentation PowerPoint that Dr. Nicole did. I highly recommend you have a look at it because it answers a lot of questions about kind of where we're at these days with myasthenia gravis. So that's it for now. I want to say thank you very much for the fellowship we're evolving together. I encourage you to support the MG Fit campaign and step up for MG. Bye for now.